Okay. Let's see what do we got here. There's two things about comets: the Kuiper belt and the Oort cloud. Here we go. Okay. This is what belt? The asteroid belt. If you, okay, here's Jupiter. If I put Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, way out here, you would have the Kuiper belt. It's way on the outside. According to what I've read and understand, the Kuiper belt is like the asteroid belt, circling the Earth. I'm sorry, circling the Earth, that's wrong. Circling the Sun in a orbit. Okay? What is it? These are made of asteroids. What's the Kuiper belt made of? Comets. Not all comets have these really deep orbits, but some comets come from the Oort cloud. And the Oort cloud, think of a beach ball. Alright guys, get a beach ball in your head. At the center of the beach ball is the sun. Okay? The Oort cloud would be like a shell surrounding the sun. And that shell is made up of different comets. So if like a comet was up here at the Oort cloud, it would come down and have this really elliptical orbit around the sun. Okay, so instead of thinking to the side, it could be coming from here and come in and come back out. Really elliptical orbit paths. There's a very famous comet that comes by every 76 years. Does anyone know its name? Halley's Comet. Halley's. Well, instead of me drawing all this up here, I think I have a slide for that. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Okay. Last time I did that, I broke my remote and I had to fight to fix it. So hopefully, oh please don't be broken. Ah! Woo! Here we go. Seriously, I didn't want this to break. Okay.
¿Cómo es la forma?
I did blow the battery out of it. Come on, give me just a second, guys. There we go. Oh, it did break. Okay, so Halley's Comet, its orbital period is 76 years. Now, Halley's Comet, does anyone know off the top of their head the last time we saw this comet?
1986, something, I don't know.
1986.
For real?
Who is pulling out the trivial data?
I saw
Okay,
it.
1986. So, in perspective, I was 6 years old when Halley's Comet showed up. Do you think that as a 6-year-old I remember seeing this? No. Oh, 6 years old. Good grief. 6 years old. So when I am in my 80s, if I live that long, I eat a lot of Taco Bell, so it might not happen. Okay, but in my 80s, if I live that long, I might be able to see Halley's Comet again if the conditions are right. Okay, I believe this is one that you can see in the night sky. Is this the only comet? No, this is definitely not the only comet. However, it is one of the more famous ones. Okay. Some people think that comets are portents of doom. Some people think that there have been different, how do I say this, religious groups out there that have thought different things about comets. There was one group, when the Hale-Bopp comet came, they all committed suicide because they were going to join the mothership, which was right behind the comet. Whether they are right or not, I don't know, but they're no longer alive to find out. So the comet went on. So there's different, people think about comets differently. Our whole goal here in science is not to mess with stuff that we can't understand and can't explain. Our whole goal here in science is to say, what evidence can we get so that we can understand the world around us better? So we're always doing more experiments, we're always collecting more data, we're always getting more evidence to try to understand the world better. Which is why I love science, because I like to know how stuff works. Always taking stuff apart. Okay. Alright, let's stop talking about comets. We're going to start talking about meteoroids. I think I have about 15 minutes before I wanted to be done, so we are really doing good here. Meteoroid, meteor, meteorite. I recommend you write this down. Brandon, go aloud. Write this down. The reason I ask you guys to write this down is because this is going to be a little bit challenging. And I guarantee you this is a very common question on the SOL. This is just, it is, because how can we trip up the students? No, they're not thinking that. At least I hope they're not thinking that. But this is a challenging thing. Why? You just have to know the difference. Now, the one way that I remember is that a meteor shower is a certain thing. Let me back up a little bit. A meteoroid, a meteor, and a meteorite are all exactly the same thing. It's all about where this same thing is. Okay? It is space junk, space trash, asteroids, meteors. No, sorry, not say meteor in its own definition. Asteroids, comets, the dust of an asteroid trail, of a comet trail. You could have a broken up satellite. You could have material that's left over from the origin of the solar system forming. Any kind of stuff in space, anything in space that is in space is a meteoroid. Okay? Small solid particles that travels through space. Blah. Space junk. Now, any of that space junk that falls to Earth, in the act of falling, as it's coming to Earth, it is a meteor. It is the luminous phenomenon observed when a meteoroid enters the Earth's atmosphere and burns up, popularly called a shooting star. Who's seen a shooting star? Okay. When I first saw a shooting star, I was jumping up and down excited. You don't see them very often, because you've got to be looking at the right spot for it to happen. It literally looks like a star started moving across the sky and then stops. And it's really fast, like really fast. If you want, I can look up the video of the Russian meteor that hit. But if it makes it through the atmosphere, now you have to understand, this is important, you have to understand, our atmosphere is not exactly friendly to meteors. Our atmosphere is kind of aggressive. In space, you can move around, you can go as fast as you want. Nothing's going to stop you unless you run into something. There's no friction. You guys understand friction, right? If you start rubbing your hands together, what do your hands get temperature-wise?
Hot.
They get hot. Well, I'll get to you, Sean, just a second. I gotta get through my throat. If the meteoroid starts moving through our atmosphere, turns into a meteor, well, our atmosphere is something to rub against. And at the speeds that these things go, it gets really, really hot. So hot that they usually get fried and burn up in the atmosphere. So what you're actually seeing with the shooting star is the streak of light across the sky is really this meteor burning to a crisp. And you're seeing the light of it, the fire of it as it burns. If it is strong enough or big enough, I shouldn't say strong enough, if it's big enough to survive entry, it will be a meteorite when it hits the Earth. So anything that's left over, a meteoroid's in space, it fell to the Earth, what's left of it is called a meteorite. Meteorite. Sean, you had a question?
So like air is different question.
Absolutely.